For weeks now, the world's attention has been focused on Ukraine's refugees. While they no doubt face a dire humanitarian crisis, what about the millions of others in the same situation?
If we care so much about people suffering in Ukraine, we should care as much about people in Somalia, Burkina Faso, South Sudan, Pakistan, where the scale of need is high. It's so frustrating that other countries don't get the level of support they're entitled to. We're struggling because they don't have the same geopolitical element.
Mainstream media is also to blame. The Ukraine crisis dominates the media spotlight in terms of search terms and published materials. It's caused indignation, even among Western allies.
The humanitarian suffering that we have seen in Ukraine, and everyone is talking about it right now, it has been the suffering of a lot of countries in this region for years. And nothing happened, actually.
So what is happening elsewhere? The war in Yemen has been ongoing for nearly 8 years. It's the world's worst humanitarian disaster. And in March, the UN announced a fundraiser with a target of $4.3 billion.
As the conflict enters its 7th year, millions of people continue to suffer in Yemen. We need urgent support to continue our work to save lives. But we also need to address the underlying drivers of the crisis. This will help to make people less vulnerable, build their ability to withstand shocks, and give them hope for the future.
So how much did the fundraiser make? You guessed it, nowhere near how much is needed.
It is a disappointment that we weren't able as yet to get pledges from some we thought we might hear from.
Yet the US is asking for its 2023 budget to include nearly $700 million for Ukraine. This kind of selectivity leads to an alarming prognosis.
Unless we ring-fence the resources that are dedicated to responding to crises in all parts of the world, we risk, once hopefully the crisis in Ukraine dies down, a huge backfire of other crises that have become much worse and even more difficult to address.
While suffering cannot and should not be compared and contrasted, this pattern condemns millions of people around the globe to an effective death sentence.